I don't know what I can do next. Kind of a little stuck. Hmm. I do have a skill point to spend. Which rhetoric seems like the best pick right now. Let's give a good thought. Actually, oh, well, too late. We already started in rhetoric. Oops.
Yes, what is it?
What if you didn't have to leave? I talked with Andre. He wants to make it work.
I don't want to make anything work.
You don't want to make anything work?
Yes, anything. I don't want to make anything work.
It's not the anodic dance music that's made her bitter. It's the failure of Fortress accident.
Are you bitter because your rating game project failed?
That's right. If we couldn't get our welcomes to happen, I don't want anything to happen. Ever again.
There's not a trace of irony in her voice. She means it.
Convince her to cooperate with the Ravers.
Just tell her about Egged's defense speech.
Listen, what about the nightclub?
I already told you. I'm not interested.
Those kids really need a win. We all do. Give the club a chance. Give them a chance.
A chance to cook some speed, you mean?
They promised they'll do it clean.
Huh. Did they? Alright. This is all very good and sad, but I have my research to finish. Trust me, this is far more important than the fate of some local speed freaks and their dance music.
Wait, she doesn't want to share the space with them. Help her finish the research. Then she won't have to.
What if I helped you finish your project? You said it's not going very well. You could leave when it's finished, and they could come in.
She thinks about it. A glassy look in her eyes. A gust of wind brings more snow in from the broken gallery. It touches her hair.
Alright. Bring me the game's offsite copy from my old workspace, if you really want to help. It's stored on a filament memory, and I'm unable to go and fetch it myself.
By your workspace, do you mean the studio? Okay.
Yeah, that's the one. You can get in through the bookshop. You just have to do some explaining to the bookstore lady.
I've actually ever been inside the Doom commercial area.
Good. Then you might know the giant ice bear fridge in the building's cellar. The filament is inside the fridge. Just go and get it.
Where exactly is this offset copy?
In the giant ice bear fridge. I just told you. It has red glowing eyes.
But you've been to the fridge and it wasn't there. There was a note saying,
I found a note from the Ice Bear fridge. It said the off-site copy had been moved to a safer place.
A note from whom? Did it specify where they took the filament memory?
It said the off-site copy had been taken to a nearby ice cream maker. The note was signed by someone named Sulishla.
Jawiza. Of course. Our project lead, Suliswov Jawiza.
Sulishla.
God, he was always so hell-bent on keeping the copy somewhere safe. And feature creep, and the Valley of the Heads. Like it would have made a difference. The offsite copy was perfectly safe when the data loss happened. That data loss was anomalous.
Shit.
And the heads... I won't even get into the heads. Millions of them. Go find that copy from that ice cream maker, will you? Thanks.
Valley of 1,000 Heads. You like the sound of that.
I found the ice cream maker, but it couldn't get it open. It's completely frozen.
This is getting ridiculous. Can't you just defrost it? Or, I don't I don't know about the ice cream maker. Just figure something out.
There's a solution, but she doesn't want to hand it over to you yet. It's a thing. Something she holds dear.
Yep, I'll go look for it.
And here's my Kvalsund multi-tool. You might need it to hack loose some ice. It opens every...
It hurts a bit for her to say this. She's not too happy to be parting with the Caval soon.
That tomorrow.
The swallow, you mean? What about it?
Turn around. Okay, let's go to that. Okay, and then, oh, this is right in front of the church, so we can actually travel and such.
It's you again. What is it?
Okay. Convinced Titus he's being manipulated.
Convince Titus.
Yes!
Manipulated. Bad idea. Bringing her up will do no good. You should know by now. Titus will never falter.
One of his boys will.
Just remember, it's about more than Glasia. It's about these men and Martinez, their district, their responsibility.
That's it. Case closed. We're going home, Kim.
He'll get it. Go on.
Right now, Kim. And Martinez, they just kill you because they don't like you.
Got it. Kill you because they don't like you. All because
Because you're a foreigner.
Damn right. Don't come around if you're not from around.
Fuck you. I'm not from around. That's not why we...
there we go. Don't come to the wild north if you are not white enough.
Yes. They'll club you from behind, string you up, and go back to drinking.
It wasn't that. It wasn't. We didn't hit him, okay?
That's it. That's the weak one. You flushed him out. Now go in for that.
Officer, you will be next if you don't shut up.
He's onto you. He knows what you're trying to do.
Or what? You're gonna kill me like you killed him for no fucking reason? Look at him first.
The lieutenant has put down his notebook. His hand is resting on his holster. He gives you an imperceptible nod. What? What does that mean? Go for it. The lieutenant has his eyes set on the fact.
Sir. Or what? You're gonna fucking kill me like you killed him? For no fucking reason?
We didn't kill him. We didn't even hang him. He was dead when.
Shut up, Angus.
He was dead before you killed him?
Say one more thing to the cops and I'll...
Dennis, stand down, or I'll beat your head in. Theo, take your hand off the belt. This isn't 31. I've got this under control. Angie, where's your goddamn inhaler? You sound like you're dying.
I left it home. I can't get it. I'm too fucked.
Why are you so fucking fat, Angus? Now it's all pointless. Because of you. You wasted my time. I told you, Titus. I told you just give her up.
Lizzie, your help is no longer needed here. Go tell Everard.
Damn.
Fine. I'll tell him. After a long walk along the coast.
Holy shit.
What just happened between these two? You're in. He's all yours. Questions.
Sorry, I made you guys fight.
Me too.
We did it.
The lieutenant gives a smile.
So who killed the merc then? Any leads?
Not yet. Just some ideas. She says the shot came from outside, behind the window somewhere. So that's a clue.
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking someone's past caught up with them. Either hers or his.
Hers, you mean?
She's got one of those checkered pasts. The shot could have missed. Could have been meant for her.
I like that. Been thinking the same thing myself.
Any ideas about his past too?
Mine too. One of those mercenary buddies of his could have done it. They got guns, training, years of bad blood, probably. Or it could have been someone else from Clement. Tell you what I'd do. Check out the coast for vantage points. Maybe consult with a ballistics buddy of mine. That's what I'd do. If I wasn't too busy doing this clown dance with you.
These theories, not bad. Don't buy either one, but still, this guy's not as dumb as he looks.
She didn't kill him. He was already dead.
He nods.
You hanged the corpse to cover up the real cause of death. What was it?
We're not sure. Probably a bullet. The wound was difficult to see.
The coroner and his assistant are wrapped in blue. Hands covered in blue gloves. Mouths covered by blue masks. Bodies by blue aprons. The coroner wipes his brow, scalpel still in his hand. Get the light. Shine it in his mouth. He tells his assistant. The coroner squats to better see the light illumines the darkness inside. Well, shit. Can't blame them for missing that. Get the saw, Alan. This just got fun.
'Cause the girls asked us to. They were in some shit.
Girls plural. There's another girl. 2 of them. Take note of this. They'll probably say later.
Did she kill him?
Cop, I have no idea. The girl says she didn't.
He doesn't think she did. Or at least he hopes she didn't.
What happened Sunday night?
Classier came down. She seemed really bug-eyed and gurning, not in a fun way. It looked like she'd redosed after something went down. I've seen that look before. She was scared. I knew someone had died.
How do you know?
I've done this job for 10 years. I've seen it before. It's the politician in the motel room with the dead hooker scenario. Only in reverse.
Good analogy, boss.
You don't get to talk yet, Shanky. You're still on the bench. And you keep taking it easy too, Angus.
What happened then?
We went upstairs. Sure as day the merc was dead. There was a bullet hole through the window. Fucking dirty sheets and bottles everywhere.
He means they'd been fucking.
Tibbs patched the window. And the corpse. We hanged.
Who's Tibbs? The authority?
Nah, he's my brother. He's in the window replacement business.
Right now, he's grateful he hasn't gotten his brother into this mess.
If Classy didn't kill him, why the cover up?
You may have noticed our girl's in some shit of her own.
I don't know, same thing. What kind of shit we talking about?
Can't show up on police radar kind. There are people after her from the old world, where she came from.
These people? Who are they?
They're powerful, connected to the moral intern. She's clearly afraid for her life. Says if she showed up in your systems, she'd be ghosted away.
And why would you help someone like that? By taking on a murder?
Why would I? I guess we abide all sorts of runaways and losers here. Martinez thing.
His idea was to hang him anyways. Hers?
In a manner of speaking.
Remember the 2 girls? He may be talking about the other one.
Earlier you said the girls asked for your help. Was this the other girl?
That's right. It was her idea to hang him. I liked it for political reasons. It sent a good message.
It's her, isn't it? The drug trafficker, the missing eighth Hardy.
Fella, you think too much. He's off all right. You're gonna hurt your head.
A little too far there, but you're definitely right.
That woman is just affiliated with the Hardy Boys. You don't know her, anyway.
You're gonna stonewall me if I ask more about her, aren't you?
You understand that.
Okay. Thank you for this, Titus. I'm gonna talk with her. For the last time.
Do that. Hey, cop. Before you go, Klausya, came to Martinez to hide. Many of us did. This is where you wash up when there's nowhere left to go. The Union takes you in. Now, she refused that protection. But
Still, after all this headache,
But you would still prefer if we didn't take her away?
that's right. If we didn't take care of the people who end up here, this place would just be a couple of ruins and some cargo containers.
The Hardy girl's in there. In the cargo container here.
We'll take that into account.
She's in there. She has to be the eighth Hardy in there.
the same small, heavy door.
It's always good to see you.
Something in her demeanor has changed. She's tired, consigned to her fate, to being here with you and what's to come.
The Hardy Boys told us what really happened.
I understand.
You don't look surprised? You were expecting this.
I knew there was a chance you'd get them to tell you. It's what you do. You're the police. For what it's worth, I'm sorry for wasting your time.
This is good. Clear the air first, between you two, then move on to questions. Is it? Something is off here. Shush, I can't hear what she's saying. Let the miss speak. She's tall and thin and tired. A twig trying so hard not to break.
If you knew we would find out eventually, why did you waste our time?
Because of the Hardys. I couldn't just dispense with them. They were only trying to help me. Out of the shit I'd gotten into.
That's not a good enough reason.
You're right. There's more.
More?
You answer to the coalition government, and by extension, the moral intern.
Briefly glancing over her shoulder to the sea, as she's done time and time again.
Is that why you're looking over your shoulder? You're afraid of the moral intern?
You share a database with them. You send people to their courts.
What's going on? What did you do?
Just business. But bad business for some people in the moral intern. If I show up in your records, officer, they will find me. They will...
What happens if they do?
They will kill me, sir. If you file my name, take me in for questioning, enter me into the moral intern mill, well, then I'm fucked. For nothing. This murder didn't have anything to do with me.
Actually, this murder did have a little to do with her.
What did you do to have all these people after you?
It's not nice, but it's not illegal. Not here in Ravishol, or even in Orania.
What exactly did you do?
Industrial espionage. I joined a business collective with the intention of betraying them. I did my job well enough to be asked to do it again. With a bigger company. The kind you really, really don't fuck with. I took their ledgers, 2 decades worth of accounting.
I need the names of the companies involved and who hired you.
The job was Lou's doing County Savings Bank. They sound small, but they're part of the Lou Scott conglomerate. That was the second job. The first was some printer company. You wouldn't know them.
But she really destroyed them. She still feels it.
As to who hired me for the job, I don't know. But they're after me too, along with Lou Scott and their friends in the MI. Once you're done in the competitive intelligence circuit, you don't have allies. You're radioactive.
I'm sure there are people that have done much worse than that.
Sure. I'm not a war criminal, but it was bad. People lost their jobs. Good people, too, not just C-suite. A lot of people got hurt. But that's just more of my shit you shouldn't have to deal with. You're solving a murder.
That can wait. Look into her eyes. There's more.
What did you do?
One of them killed themselves because of me.
That's easy to deal with.
How do you deal with anything? It's all just... How do you do it?
I don't either.
There you have it. The way of the warrior.
What happened here? No, he died.
We were there. Together. In bed, I mean.
Tell me exactly what happened.
Okay. He was in a kneeling position. He had just entered me. I was on my back, looking at him. I heard the window behind me shatter, and I turned to look. There was a hole in the glass. I turned back to him. His eyes were looking through me, and his mouth was open. Dumb. I could see. I could...
A great pain moves through her, a dark and indefinite wave. She continues in spite of it.
I knew he was dead. Before he fell down on top of me.
You were right. He did enjoy the moment of his death.
Better not to mention it than what happened.
He was heavy. I pushed him off and he fell to the floor. There. He only had his boots on. I bit the pillow, not to scream, then ran downstairs. I waited for the second shot to come. For me. I thought there would be one. It never came.
I'm sorry this happened to you.
So am I.
She throws it away and immediately proceeds to light another one.
What time was this? When did it happen? It would help us if you could be as precise as possible.
11:30 to 12:15. I don't know the exact time. Around midnight.
It's okay. Were you inebriated?
Not as much as usual. He'd done a line, plus other things. I was drinking.
Wait. Titus said she was gurning her jaw off, much more than usual.
Titus said you looked pretty high.
Oh, yeah. I did one of his lines, just to clear my head.
Good thinking. Clear your head. You should clear your head. Get into his mindset.
Did you hear or see the shooter in the course of this?
No.
What did you do then?
Nothing. I was trapped. I was stuck in my room downstairs. I got some clothes on and crawled back up, drew the blinds. Blood was coming from his mouth. Not a lot. Just a little. He was still on the floor, slouched. I couldn't be there with him anymore. So I ran down and out of my room, into the hallway, down the stairs. I knew there would be people there.
Run, woman. Run past them and out into the streets where it's dark and people move. To the lorries at the intersection, as far as you can.
Why didn't you run away from here? As a matter of fact, why did you care now?
I already ran. I ran from an entire Isola. I can't run any further. Not with these people. This is as far as it gets.
What happened after you ran downstairs?
Sylvie was tending the bar. A lot of people were there. The Hardys were at the table in front of the stage. I think the Union box was full. Ruby was there too. They were having such a good time. I sat down and they all welcomed me. I didn't even have to say anything. Ruby knew something was wrong.
Ruby?
Okay. Or we'll continue. Who's Ruby?
Ruby. You know, the leader.
The leader? Of what?
The Hardy Boys.
I thought Hardy was the leader of the Hardy Boys.
Well, nominally, yes. Ruby's the one they go to when things happen, like things they need taken care of. She's the organizer.
Would you say she is the 8th Hardy Boy?
Why not?
Does she also party with Ruby, however?
Did you party with Ruby too?
No.
Still, there is something there. She won't tell you now.
Okay, let's go on. What then?
Well, Ruby said let's talk upstairs. I showed her the room. I've known these people since December. They know my situation, that I can't leave a paper trail. Ruby was the first one I told. She said she'd take care of this. It's what she does, you know, take care of things. I helped her get the body to the bathroom. We used a belt to pull him up under the shower, to keep him upright.
To produce lividity, matching a hanging?
Yes.
We completely missed the tampering. Looks like you got there in time. What was this, 20 minutes after death?
Oops.
About 20, yes. Ruby explained it would make the
I love
blood.
that.
You know what he does.
What did you do?
Ruby went outside to talk to Titus and the boys. I was just looking at Lely in the bathroom. I had to put his clothes back on. His armor, too. It was tough, but I've seen him take it off and put it on many times. It took Ruby maybe half an hour to come back with Titus. I'd gotten him ready by then. They carried him out. I knew what they were going to do. Make it look like a hanging. Ruby said they would.
What did you do while they're hanging them?
Ruby said to wait here. She also said I wouldn't see her for a while. That we should lay low or something. So I did.
It's Ruby. Where's Ruby now?
I don't know. I haven't seen her since.
We will need to take this question to the Hardy Boys.
Interesting. Why did this Ruby go through so much trouble to hide something someone else did? Look into this later.
What happened? Did you hear a gunshot?
When he was shot? I may have. I don't know. I couldn't hear anything over the glass exploding.
Did you kill Lily?
What? Why would I put myself through this? Insanity. Get myself cornered like this. He wouldn't have died if it weren't for me. I know that. But I would never hurt him.
All kinds of crazy things happen when drugs are involved. Sweet, sweet drugs. It could have been a desire murder. Maybe an act of jealousy. He was a serviceman. He must have had a gun. Somewhere, lying around, close to her hand.
You must have had a weapon nearby. Did you use that?
No. I specifically asked him not to carry firearms when he was with me. He only had his stupid armor.
Drugs were an integral part of your relationship. Perhaps they contributed to its end?
What does that mean?
Do drugs make you aggressive?
No. People don't take drugs to kill each other. They take them to feel okay with each other. I thought you Ravishol people would be more enlightened on this. I'm sorry, officer.
Okay.
I'm under some stress here.
I'll leave you to answer some other questions,
Like
miss.
what?
Why'd you call the cops if you're hiding?
Because I'm an idiot.
Which is an indicator of truth. Idiot. She's nothing of the sort.
So you would have us believe, but you're not.
You have to understand, the people around here, no one was making the call, and he kept rotting. And then they picked his clothes off, and that little fucker threw stones at him. He kept throwing stones at him for 3 days. I could hear the thud, thud. So I called you. I hope with all my heart it's not the last thing I do in Ravishol.
Could the people after you have killed them?
That's the first thing that went through my head when I heard the glass break.
And
I thought they'd found me. They've killed him to punish me. All last week, I've tried not to talk to anyone or be seen with anyone so they wouldn't be hurt. I've come to understand, however, this is paranoia. What happened didn't have anything to do with me.
it probably didn't.
Or I don't know anything anymore. All I do is wait here.
We can't go after loose cap. Not yet. There are other, saner leads.
I don't ask you to, Lieutenant. If there's one thing I know, it's that you'll get nothing from there.
Okay. When was the window changed?
Last week. Angus and Titus's brother, I think he's called Tibbs, took care of it.
You should have another look at that window after this. Reconstruct the scene. It's right there.
Your window inside?
Yes, you see the glass sparkling out of the corner of your
Yep.
eye.
I think we're done here for now.
She nods, silently. She doesn't even smoke. Just picks up the cold coffee and holds it in her hands. He's thinking, are we done here? As you look back, you think, so love did do him in, after all.
That's right.
If it weren't for her, he would not have been there. The shot would not have connected with his soft palate.
Looks like love did determine after all.
She's silent, holding on to her coffee mug. No vapor rises from it. It's cold. Remember this silence. The lady is dangerous. People suffer around her.
See nothing. What our answer?
Yeah. I'd like to think he didn't love me. Or that it was chemically induced and not real.
Why?
Easier that way.
Was it real?
I don't know.
Real as anything.
Finish that. I have drama stuff, right?
Officer, it's a fine day for questions.
But we are awake, sire. She has been forthcoming with sordid details women usually conceal. Most shocking details of the sexual kind. We are a bulwark, unbreached. If you have doubts, just give us one example of deceit. Just one, and we will gladly change our minds.
I got nothing. You're right, Vice Consul. It is so silly of me to imply she lied.
Gosh, she's so young, isn't she? She would look spectacular in a starring role. Be careful not to look too long into her soon-to-be famous face, lest it make you look like an indecisive suitor. It looks like this one's not waking up. You'll have to do it without pushing her further. At least for now.
I'll switch my ties.
This window is pristine on the inside, unlike the one. This window is pristine on the inside. Golden light melts away into the blue, glassy darkness of your mind. In it are two neon-lit shapes, a man and a woman on the single bed.
What position are they in?
Like the witness said, the man is kneeling, the woman is on her back. It's the night of March 4th and a shot has just been fired. The man looks directly at the woman. The shot's possible directions converge in his mouth, a ray cast from somewhere outside, entering his brain.
Where does it come from?
From the roof outside, location A prime. The glass fractures around the bullet hole, shards face inwards like a corona behind the woman's back.
It's like the ghostly figures.
The man does not know the bullet has entered his brain. He never will. Death comes faster than the realization.
Have a look at point A to the roof.
The ray cast from the man's mouth unravels into a fan of possible directions, all on the roof at first. The shot could have come from any of them. This is composite location A prime, most likely of the origin points.
Shouldn't there be gun residue outside?
There could have been. Then the rain and slush and wind washed it away. This was more than a week ago.
So I'm 80% sure the roof is where the shot was made from.
72%. With a weapon that's good for medium range, like a rifle or sports pistol. This is a good short distance, but not too short. The perpetrator aimed with their back against the railing, or possibly kneeling for precision. This would explain why it only took them one shot. The lights were on in here. Outside it was dark. It was like shooting fish in an aquarium. A well-kept aquarium. The victim opened his mouth to let the bullet in. Neither of them would have seen anything outside, in the darkness, too busy with their own bodies.
Could the shot have come from inside the room, closer point?
Point X would contradict the woman's testimony, rendering the entire proposition void. These figures would be wiped out, detective.
Are there any arguments against A
None
on the
that
roof?
you've found thus far, but that doesn't mean there aren't any.
There been another point of origin farther away?
That's a 28%, yes. In this model, the shot could have come from a greater distance. Nothing excludes the possibility. Should we extrapolate to include every possible point of origin in Martinez?
Extrapolate the radius, include all Martinez.
According to your map of the district, this shot could have come from a wide angle of locations, starting with the northern edge of the abandoned boardwalk, ending with an islet in the bay. Let's call them B prime.
More precisely?
B prime for boardwalk, B double prime for Land's End, and B triple prime for the islet, detective.
I've ever looked
There
at
may be smaller points in between.
point
but
B
those are too
prime, the
fine to
boardwalk.
zoom in. 700 meters away. The likeliest of these B positions, 20% chance. A skilled sniper could have made the shot, provided he had a safe sniper's nest. Even with the light on inside, we're talking military training. At that distance, the perpetrator would have had to take wind direction into account.
I look at point B, Land's End.
1.2 kilometers away, the least likely of these positions. Let's say 3%. A truly skilled sniper could have done it, possibly from a tent. No, too far-fetched.
I look at point B. B triple prime.
One kilometer away, a point beyond the docks, on an islet in the bay. The fort is ruined, but the perpetrator may have found a stable spot on the beaches surrounding it, where the concrete crumbles into the sea, as you saw in the coin-operated viewer. The shot would have been a small miracle, 5% likelihood. There is an extremely narrow field of view from the bay to the window, between Rue de Saint-Ghislain 10 and 33A. The angle would have been extreme, and access to the islets is questionable.
Cam, do you think the shot could have come further from the roof in
From
Martinez?
where, precisely?
Let's say B prime, boardwalk, B double prime, Land's End, B triple prime, is it?
I see you have given this a lot of thought. Are those the locations you've singled out in addition to the roof? And what is the likelihood, in your opinion, that it came from a further distance?
I'm just being thorough.
Okay, well, we should see if there is gunshot residue or sniper nests if we go down the coast. Rule these spots out one by one. It would be the diligent thing to do. Until then, personally, I'm going with the roof version. A simple hypothesis can be wrong, but it's something to build on.
Blink. Okay.
Oh, hello, dear. There you are again.
You've never told me you've seen the Phasmid.
Oh, you don't want to hear about some old woman's ramblings.
No, I really want to know.
Reflexively, the lieutenant read his familiar notebook.
Well, it was summer. I was building a racing track out of sand on the beach near a tall stand of reeds. Quite a tall one. Many times my height, I remember. When, all of a sudden...
Mate, where was this and how old were you?
I'm getting ahead of myself. I was 5.5 in Betancourt in the suburbs. My grandmother had a summer home there.
She'd just started forming memories. Real memories. Not the billowy haze of infanthood.
What happened?
The strangest moment of my life. I looked up and one of the reeds moved. Not like a plant, but like a living thing. It stood up and looked at me. Its body unfolded like some antique toy. I've never seen anything like it.
She had no fear, just surprise.
I didn't know this can happen, so I reached my arm and touched the thing. It felt just like a stalk of reed, but it moved, swaying, towering above me. After a while, 20 seconds, a minute maybe, it left, went into the reeds.
Did you follow it?
I tried, but I was only a child. There was mud and high water. I couldn't see it anymore. I was just standing there knee-deep in mud, looking around me.
Where did you go? Don't go.
What?
I ran back home to my grandmother and asked her if reeds could walk, and told her they were looking at me. Of course, she just laughed at me, but I knew what I'd seen. For years, it was a story I told at parties when I wanted to impress boys. That sort of thing. Of course, most people just took it as a strange, amusing anecdote. So did I, honestly. But then I met Morel. We were on our first date when I told him my story. You should have seen his face. He said my descriptions matched the Phasmid down to a T. Its white marble limbs, the way it moved.
So that's how they met. This is beyond significant for them.
Okay, thank you for sharing this with me.
You're welcome, sweetie. I do appreciate the chance to relive it whenever I get one. It was just... such an impossibly sunshiny day. So warm.
And she could get up and walk right into the reeds on her own. Into the mud. Anywhere.
I ran into your husband on the coast.
Goodness. How is he? Did he say why he hasn't returned yet?
He's fine, ma'am. As we had suspected, he couldn't get back earlier because the water lock on the canal was broken. Now he's just finishing up some work.
Oh, yes. That's my Morel. He's bound to catch a cold staying out there for so long. But I am so relieved to hear that he's okay. Thank you for putting an old woman's heart at ease, if even a little.
You haven't, however. There are dangers out there. Our aging body's foul. Her heart won't rest until Morel is safely back with her.
Yep, that's all for now, Mom. Okay, I gotta call it an early stream today. I'm very tired. Thank you all for watching. I know it's small, but I appreciate it. Good night.